Okay. So now, okay. Now I'll use record. See, I'm using record. I'll use record. So it goes like an 3, 2, 1. That's it. So can see press Alt to show the ID and meeting controls. Now this entire desktop is getting recorded. Can see it is getting recorded. You have the pass and the stop. Okay. Initially stop was not enabled. Now it is enabled. Now whatever you do in this desktop, whatever you do, you open a file, you explain what is the thing. Okay. Everything it will be recorded. Once you finish, just press stop. Just
Hema Kumar sir, you are not audible. Hello? Sir, you are not audible.
yeah, okay. Now?
Yes, sir. Now it's audible.
Thank you, thank you. Okay.
Please
So,
explain once again. From past seconds, you were not audible.
I just delete it.
Yeah.
I have to click on screen recording. I have to click on screen recording. I have to select the area. I have to select the area where I'm going to record. Okay. Once selection is done, I'll go for record. I'll click on record. Okay. Now it will start to record. Whatever I do in this thing, suppose I open a photograph or something. Okay. So everything will be recorded. Fine. Okay. So now it is getting recorded. I'll just go stop. As soon as I give stop, that particular video clip that has been recorded will be automatically saved inside this particular PowerPoint. You can see in this PowerPoint, this particular thing is getting, you have this particular video clip here. Okay. So you can just play it and see. Can just play it and see. Okay, this is the video. Now I need to save this clip. I need to save this clip. So I'll just right click. I'll just right click, save media as. Okay. I'll just right click and press save media as. By default, it is saved as MP4. Wherever you want to save, just give save. That's it. Okay. As soon as you press save, it will be recorded. That's it. Here also, similar to your Xbox. One problem with Xbox is it cannot record from your desktop. It can record from a program. It can record from a browser. Okay. In PowerPoint, it can record from anywhere, but your face will not be visible. Your face will not be visible. It can record from anywhere. Okay. So this is how you use your PowerPoint for screen recording. Use your PowerPoint for screen recording. Fine. I can just delete it. Nothing will happen. You have already saved the file. So nothing will happen even if you delete from here. Okay. So that's the second tool. First one is Xbox. Second one is Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay. We'll move to the third tool. It's called Loom. Okay. So I'm just going to launch my Chrome browser. Okay. I'm just launching my Chrome browser. We're going to use Google Web Store. Okay. Google Chrome Web Store. Okay. I'm just going into Google Chrome Web Store. This is the Google Chrome Web Store. Okay, I'm just opening the Google Chrome Web Store. Okay, here I will search for Loom. I'll search for Loom. Okay, see Loom for Chrome. This is an extension. Okay, Loom is available as a desktop version, also as a Chrome extension. It is available in two ways. It is available in two ways. Either it can be used as a desktop version or it can be used with Chrome. Okay. So actually in the manual that I have provided, I have given the explanation how to use the desktop version. Here I am going to show you the demo how to use as a Chrome extension. But one interface remains, only thing it remains in Chrome, the other thing comes as a separate application, that's all. Nothing more is different. The entire interface is going to be exactly the same, okay? Here already I have installed. See, if it is a new one, it will ask add to Chrome option will be there. Here already I have installed, so it is showing rate it, okay? So this has been already installed. Once you have installed, you can see this icon here, Loom for Chrome, okay? I'll just click on it. So it says we cannot record on this page. Okay, I'll just go to some other page. Okay, I'll just open gmail.com. I'll just use classroom.google.com. Okay, so for certain pages it is not allowing. Okay, so that's because of the Chrome Web Store. It is not allowing. I don't know what's the problem. Okay, we'll see. Initially it will ask for login. I already logged in, so it is showing this particular option. You can see here, this particular option will come. Initially, when you click on this Loom icon, it will ask you for login. You can use your Google account to log in. It will ask for your Google account to log in. Okay, it's quite simple to log in with your Google account. Once you're logged in, you'll have these two options. Here, you have three options here. This is screen plus cam. This is screen plus cam. So actually the cam is being used by Zoom. So you cannot ask, it does not have permission to use it. Okay. You have the screen plus cam permission as well as cam only permission. Okay. That is screen plus cam means your face will come as well as the screen will come. This is only the screen and this is only cam. Okay. You have three. The very important thing I want to mention about Loom is absolutely lifetime free for educators, students, and institutions, schools, colleges, those from teaching, students. The Loom is absolutely free. Full version, it is free. Okay, there is no limitation on the time. You don't get any particular thing like watermarking, nothing will be there. It's completely free for personal use, for students, for teachers, for schools, colleges, it is free. Okay, fine. So you have three options here, screen plus cam, screen only, cam only. Why I can't use these two options is currently Zoom is using my cam. So it is not able to use the screen plus cam option. Okay, so as of now, only my screen is enabled. So you have an option like full desktop or the current tab. Okay, suppose you have only the current tab, whatever you do within this tab will be showing. Or I want the full desktop, it will take the full desktop. Okay, and you have some more advanced options. You can just browse through it. You can choose your microphone source. You can choose your microphone source. Okay, and you want a control menu. This is a control menu to start recording. So recording countdown, this is something like once you give start recording, say normally when we take photographs, say cheese, they'll wait for 3, 2, 1, like that. You'll have a recording countdown so that you'll be prepared to start the process. Okay. So all these processes are by default enabled. We not have. Suppose you are using a different microphone, you can switch over from this one. Okay. Now I can add height. I'll just go now. As of now, it is only screen, full desktop. Okay. Start recording. As soon as I go for start recording, it will again ensure. It will ask again ensure whether I do what I'm going to do with. Okay. I'm going to select the screen. I'm just pressing share. Okay. So it will go for a timer. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now it is getting recorded. So normally if the cam is not there, okay, that suppose if Zoom is not there, here you'll be getting your video actually. Here I don't get the video because Zoom is using my cam. Okay, so it will get your video and it will also do the entire process. Okay, fine. Now once I go to finish recording, as soon as I go into finish recording, okay, so it will create a small account for you in Loom using your Gmail. Okay, you can see the video here, the video that we recorded. You can just play. Okay, now see, this is a recorded video. This is a record video. You can send link directly also. Suppose you don't want, okay, you want to directly use this video from Loom itself. Then you can copy this link and give it to your students. Okay, this will be a public link. Or else you want to use specific people. You can invite people alone. You can have their email IDs and invite separate people. Okay, and another great thing is you can add a password. Suppose you want your content only to be available to your students and you're sharing your password with your students alone. So only those who have the password will be able to access the content. That's a kind of security aspect that Loom provides. Okay. So what you can do, you can copy this link. You can directly give this link. Your students can view directly from this link. Or you want to give the permission to only specific people. Then I can go for invite people, give their email IDs. Only they will be able to see the video. Further, you can add a password to the video. If you add a password, it is highly secured. Okay. And apart from that, you can see here, you can have an option to download. Okay. You have an option to download. Suppose you say, I'm not interested to use a Loom. I have a YouTube channel. I want to upload the video in my channel. Then I can download this video. I can just download and have this video. And another interesting thing here is, see, trim option is available. Suppose you want to cut a portion of the video. You don't want the entire video. Say initial 10 minutes when the students start to assemble, you want to cut that part. Okay. So you can use trim option. Okay. I'll just click on trim. I'll just click on trim. Okay. So you'll have an option called start trimming. You'll have an option called start trimming. You can see here. You'll have an option called start trimming. Click it. So say this is the part which will be trimmed. Which part you don't want. Okay. You can fix the limit. Which part you can just see the video. Which part, say I want it to be the first. Okay. So I'll just drag it to the first few minutes. I don't want the first 2 minutes of the video like that. Okay. So here the total video itself is 27 seconds. I'm just clipping the first 4. Okay. I marked it. After I mark, you can see the option here, remove. The below you have an option called remove. Click on it. That's it. Now the video is trimmed. Okay. If you play, it will play from this part only. The video is trimmed now. Okay. This part is gone. This part is not available. Okay. So only if you publish these changes, it will be reflecting. As of now, it is in like you have deleted a file, it has gone to the recycle bin. Anytime you want, you can restore it. Okay. No, I want to make this permanent. Then I have to make publish settings. Once I make publish changes, the video will be cut. 4 seconds will be cut from the original video and you'll get the video. Okay. So that's how it will be doing. Fine. So it takes some time. Fine. So that's how you use your Loom. So Loom is completely free. You don't have any restrictions. Okay. So now you see the video. It is for 23 seconds. We have cut the first 4 seconds already. We have trimmed that part and you have only the 23 seconds the video. Okay. So these are the good number of options available in Zoom. Okay. So first thing, you need to install the extension. Once you click on the extension, it will ask for you to log in into Google. Once you log in into Google, it will ask for 3 options. It will ask for 3 options: screen plus cam, screen and cam only, and whether you want full desktop or only the current tab. Once you make, it will give start recording. It will start the recording. Once you finish the recording, it will open up in the Loom. Here you can share it or you can invite people using the link. You can add a password. You can trim the video. Now, suppose you say, I want to put it in my YouTube channel. Then I can just download the video. Worst case, I don't want the video at all. You can delete the video also. Fine. So these are the interesting things. This is a free tool and no time restriction, no watermarking limit. We can use it. Okay. So that's Loom. Okay. This is the third tool we have seen. So first tool we have seen, Xbox Gaming Bar. For that, nothing installation is required. You can use it from your Windows. But the problem in Xbox is it can record only from a browser or from an application. From your desktop, it cannot record. Okay. Second one is PowerPoint. It can record from anywhere. Both your Xbox as well as PowerPoint cannot have your face. Video cam is not visible. You don't have the provision for that. Whereas in Loom, it has all these provisions. You can have your screen, you can have your face, you can record it, and you can do even you can go for easy trimming, you can share it, you can download it, and good number of options are available. That's the thing of Loom. Okay. So the last one we're going to see is OBS. OBS is a bit messy, okay? But if you happen to see any, if you have watched a lot of webinars that are taking place in NPTEL, lot of webinars, wherever they put webinar, they host a webinar, they'll be using OBS. Okay, OBS is a software that is used for hosting webinars absolutely free of cost. Absolutely free of cost. OBS stands for Open Broadcast Software. OBS is Open Broadcast Software. Just open it here. I just type OBS Studio. Okay. So this is an open broadcast software. Okay, you can see here. It's an open broadcast software. Using OBS, you can do video editing. You can record your screen. You can go live using YouTube. Anything can be done. That is the advantage of OBS. Okay. But it's not so easy as we did with Loom or other things. But professionally, if you want to do, it's OBS, mostly common. Okay. Because using OBS, you can even go live. So that option is not available with your other softwares that we discussed. You cannot go live and record the thing. Okay. So that option is available only with OBS. Okay. I've already installed OBS. So I'll be opening up the OBS. Okay. Currently the cam is used by Zoom. So I'm not able to access the cam here. Okay, actually here I'll be getting, everyone is able to see the screen. You should be able to see this black screen here.
Yes,
you
sir.
have, yes, okay, thank you. So here you have this Tele 2.0 logo, and here also you have follow me on https instagram.com. Okay, all these things are there. Okay, fine. So now I'll show how to create all these things. This is an additional thing that is not required as of now. So I'll just go into, okay, this is a webcam. Webcam is not visible as of now because Zoom is using, okay, I'll just create from first, okay. So by default, if you see this thing Zoom, if you happen to see this part of Zoom, you have something called as scenes. The left corner you have scenes, the right corner you have sources, okay. Third one is an audio mixer. Fourth one is screen transitions. Fifth one is controls. Fifth one is controls, okay, fine. So here nothing is actually taking place. That's because I have muted here. Echo. Okay, I'll just switch it off. Okay, you can see here. So this is how your OBS looks like. Okay, see here in the controls on the right corner, you have start streaming, start recording, studio mode, settings, exit. These are the settings that are available on the right corner. Okay, so when you want to do something, we do not worry about the scenes and all, only the sources. Okay, I'll just remove this one. So this is how it will be when you open first OBS. When you first open OBS, it will be like this. Okay, sources. What I do is that click on plus. Click on plus. Here you will have video capture device. You will have video capture device. I have to click on it. I have to click on the video capture device. Press OK. So here actually we have this problem of camera. Okay. Better I'll show it with the help menu that I have created. Okay, I'll use this particular thing. Okay. Okay, this is the thing. Conducting online classes using OBS and YouTube Live. This video I have given, even I have a video for this. Okay, I'll go by step what is there. You can, this is the manual I have given you. Since I am facing a problem with my camera, so I'm directly opening the manual and just making you follow using the manual. All the steps are there in the manual, step by step. Okay. So I'll just see, I'll press on open broadcast software. This is how you will have an installation. You can download it for Windows. You can use it for Mac OS. You can use it for Linux. I'm downloading it for Windows. So it is getting start download. It's roughly 70 MB. Okay. You have to install this software. Once it's installed, okay, this is what we got there. Okay. This is how your window will open. If I'm able to make it full screen. Okay. I'll make it full screen. View. Okay, to some extent it's okay. Fine. Do we have any shortcuts for full screen? Fine, let it be. Everyone is able to see what is happening here. This is how it will look like. You can see the scenes. You have the sources. You have the audio mixer. You have the screen transition. You have the controls. Okay. So first thing, I'll click on this plus symbol. Here, this plus symbol, I click it. Okay. Click on the plus symbol under the sources. This will pop up a thing. This will pop up a thing. Here you have display capture. Okay, see this option, display capture. This is for recording whatever is on the screen. Display capture is used to record whatever is on the screen. Okay, let me try it here. I'll just remove this part. I'll go to plus display capture. So it'll ask for create new display capture. Okay. As soon as I press OK, you can see a window into. Don't get frightened. Some virus has infected your computer. Nothing like that. It is actually showing the inner window. Each thing is showing its own inner. So it appears like it is cascaded windows. Actually, it shows only the desktop. Here in my desktop, I have OBS. In that, I am capturing the desktop. Okay, so inside desktop, so it looks like a cascaded stacked window. Okay, so don't get confused. It's not a virus. Okay, so just it is displaying. Here you can see OK. As soon as I give OK, so it is actually capturing your desktop. It is actually capturing your desktop. Okay. What did I do? Under the sources, I took display capture. Display capture will capture what is on the screen. Display capture will capture what is on the screen. Okay. And video capture, sorry, I'll go to plus video capture. See the third icon from the bottom, it is second. First one is group, second one is window capture, third one is video capture. As soon as I click on video capture, it is nothing but webcam. It's nothing but webcam. Okay. Here currently the webcam is used by Zoom. So you don't have this option here. Okay. Else your face will be visible here. Your face will be visible here. I'll show it in the manual now. First I made display capture. I press OK. As soon as I press OK, this is by default, it will be enabled. Capture cursor option will be default enabled. So once I click OK, this will be my desktop. It is capturing the desktop. Okay. Now, again, go to the click on the plus symbol. Choose video capture device. Choose video capture device. As soon as you click on that, a window will pop up. You have to just tell create new, press OK. As soon as you press OK, you can be able to see your face. Okay. So you will be able to see your face. Fine. This is because it is using the camera. Video capture device uses a camera. Here in our case, we are Zoom is using the camera, so you are not able to see my face. But here the video will be available. Now I have to press OK. Once I press OK, this window will come here. This you can resize it and keep wherever you want. Some people will be keeping in the left corner. Some people will have in the right corner. Some people will have topmost right corner. You can see this dots, red dots. Okay. By using these red dots, you can resize it. You can resize it to the level you want. You can resize it to the level you want. Okay. That's you can do. You can resize it to the level you want. Okay. And I can just place it over the bottom. Okay. That's how traditionally it will come. Okay. So this is how you resize and keep it. Okay. So now you have your screen. See here the video is not available. So it is not able to show the difference. Okay. So here display capture will actually capture your desktop. Now for the simple recording part. See for recording you have to do almost lots and lots of things. Okay, fine. So here you go into option called settings. Under the controls, you have option called settings. Under the controls, everything I have given in the manual. Okay. So here what we need to just look is you have different tabs. General, stream, output. Okay. I'm just clicking on output. As soon as I click on output, see, this is the path we need to note. Where the video is getting recorded. C:users HP videos. That is your videos folder. In the videos folder, your file will be recording automatically. Just give OK. If you are going to change it, you have to give apply. If you're going to change it, you need to give apply, else give OK. As soon as I give OK, the thing is ready now. Now to use it as a simple screen recorder, see here, start recording. You have the option called start, nothing I'm touching. Start recording. As soon as I click on start recording, recording has started. You can see below, record 0.0.5. Okay, now whatever I do in my desktop will be recorded. Whatever I do in my desktop will be recorded. Okay, so if I want to stop it again, launch OBS, press stop recording. That's it. Your video is recorded. We'll just see the video. I'll just go to Windows. I'll take the videos folder. So actually your video will be, yeah, here you can see this one. 2002, today's date 6/8/2020, 2:25 p.m. Okay, so that's the video recording. You can just open it. It is in MKV format actually. It's in MKV format. Fine, that's it. So your video is recorded. So that's how you use your OBS for simple screen recording. That's how you use your OBS for simple screen recording. Now I'll tell you how to go live using OBS. Okay, here you can see. Okay, so I'm going to again. Okay, now to make your YouTube live, okay, you have to go to youtube.com in the browser. Okay, I'll just show it with the browser. I'll just go to youtube.com. I have to go to youtube.com. Okay, I have to go into youtube.com. Okay, so here, see, you have an option on the right end, create. You have an option on the right end, create. Okay, click on that. You have an option, right end, click create. Click on that. You have two options. Either you can upload a video or you can go live. Either you can upload a video or you can go live. Two options are there. As soon as I click this plus icon, you have two options, upload or go live. I click on go live. I click on go live. As soon as I click on go live, it will take you into the YouTube studio. It will go into the YouTube studio. Okay. So here you have three icons. See, stream, webcam, manage. I'm just taking up stream. I'm just taking up stream. Okay. So here you will have, as for the name, so Dr. B. Hemakumar live stream. Okay, whatever name you want to give. Okay, that is the name you will be having here. See here, under this category, you have three types of videos: public, private, unlisted. Public means anyone can see. If you give the public, anyone searching on Google link can see the video. Private means only you can see. That's private. Unlisted means if you put unlisted, if you give the video link to the person, then only the person can see. Normally, if they search YouTube, they will not get the link. They will not get the video. Only if you provide the link, they'll be able to use it. Okay, that is the unlisted category. Okay, so we can use public as of now. Public. So what is the category? Okay, so you can even put education if you find education or entertainment. Okay, I'll just put education. Okay, here the next part. This is the first part. Name of the stream, whether it is public, private, or unlisted. What category? Okay, here you have to tell whether it is made for kids or not for kids. No, it is not made for kids. Even you have age restriction also. Suppose you want to have a video, very sensitive video, you want to put over viewers over 18, then also you can make it. It is advanced. It is not mandatory. So no, it is not made for kids. Save. Okay. Now, once it's saved, okay, for many people, this YouTube Live will not automatically enable. When you first go into YouTube Live, it will say it will be activated in 24 hours. It will not immediately activate. Your YouTube Live will take at least 24 hours for it to activate. Suppose you want to go live today. this for first time users, only for first time users. If you have used multiple times, that's not an issue. For first time users, whenever you make it live, it will require at least 24 hours to prepare your live session. Okay, so that's, I have already enabled the live, so it here. Okay, now see here, what is very much required is, see this part. This is stream key. So the part you can see on the left bottom, stream key. Okay, this is the very important part. I can just enable and see it. This is stream key. Okay, this is stream key. That is what I require. Okay, I'll just click on copy. I'm just clicking on copy. Okay, you have three things here: stream key, stream URL, backup server URL. I want stream key alone. I'll just copy it. The stream key is copied. Okay, now I'll just open OBS. I'll open OBS, go into settings. I'll just go into settings. See the second tab, stream. See the second tab, stream. In that, okay. Okay. See, the service is YouTube or YouTube Gaming. If it is not there, you have to select it. Similarly, server is primary YouTube ingest server. Okay. Here, I have to remove this stream key. I have to. Am I audible? Okay. See, here the stream key is there. I'll just paste the stream key that I copied from YouTube. From YouTube, I have copied the stream key. Okay, that I will paste it here. Paste it, press apply, press OK. Okay, what did I do? I went into settings. I went into settings under stream key. I just pasted my new key and apply. Now, see, I have made the settings. Now we have to see this option, start streaming. You have this option, start streaming. Click on it. Now you are live actually. It is recording, see? You have live, okay? And now if I go to my browser, see, the connection is excellent. You can see whatever is there in my OBS is live on YouTube. Whatever is there on OBS, it is live on YouTube with a small delay actually. A very small delay is there. Okay, you can see it. It's almost ready. Okay. So it's live actually. It's live. The content is live now. Okay. So I'll just get a link for this. Share. This is my link. Okay. I'll just check it. I'll just open a browser, paste and go. So now I'm opening it from a different browser. So Dr. B. Hemakumar's live streaming. It will take a second or so to pop up. So one watching now, you can see whatever I am doing on the desktop is live. Whatever I'm doing on the desktop is live now. Okay. So that's how you create your live videos. So once you're finished, okay, you need to go into your thing. Okay. Before that, we'll go into YouTube. I'll just open YouTube. I have to stop streaming. Okay. Or else I'll start. I'll go to OBS. Stop streaming. Okay, OBS, I have stopped streaming. Okay, I'll just exit. So the streaming will be off. Okay, the streaming will be off. It takes some few seconds to come back to normal. Okay, so that's how the streaming will end shortly. Okay, it has no connection. That's how it will work. Okay, so I'll just open thing. The same thing I have explained it in the browser. You can see it open, click on this icon, go live. Here I have to give a title. I have to check whether it's public. Then I have to make, it is not made for kids. You say create stream. Okay, copy the stream key. Copy the stream key. In OBS, go to settings, choose stream. Under stream, paste the stream key that was copied. Paste the stream key that was copied and press apply and OK. Then click on start streaming. Once you click on start streaming, please participant. Power is on, kindly switch off. Okay. Whose mic is on? Your mine is on. Just a minute. Okay, that's from mine. Fine. Okay. So back in YouTube. So I have to see that the condition is excellent. Okay. Then I have to paste once this option is enabled. By default in my channel it was live. So by default, once you paste the key, you will have an option to go live. Okay. So it will have an option to go live. Once you press on go live, the thing will be live. At the same time, you can share this YouTube video link to others. Okay. So your desktop will be live on YouTube. Whatever you do on your desktop will be live. Okay. Once you finish, here you have an option to end stream. Okay. That was not available here, but you will normally have an option to end stream. Then you can, the video, it will be closed. Okay. It will ask whether you want to edit the video. You can edit the video. Okay. Back in OBS, I have to use stop streaming. I have to stop streaming and then exit. Okay. Later in your YouTube, so you'll be able to see all the videos. Okay. So you have two tabs in YouTube. See uploads live. In your YouTube studio, you have two tabs, upload and live. Whatever the video under live, that is the video you have recently recorded. Okay. So that's how you will be using OBS for live recording. Okay. So that's the power of OBS. So even though OBS looks a bit messy, you don't require to spend a single penny to make yourself live. Suppose you are doing a webinar, other softwares you need to install, but in OBS, only the OBS is required. You don't require any other thing. And you can use YouTube Live with OBS. Okay. So these are some of the screen recording tools. We have Xbox Gaming Bar that is inside your Windows. Only problem is it can record within a browser or it can record with the help of game. MS PowerPoint, it can record anywhere. Both Xbox and PowerPoint cannot record your face. Loom will record your face and do everything. Loom will be the best choice, obviously best choice for screen recording. But if you want to go live, if you want to present a webinar, then OBS is the obvious choice. Okay, you can use OBS and you can use YouTube Live with OBS and you can make your presentation to the world. That's how your screen recording works. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. Now I'll enable your microphone so that you have any queries. You can even post your queries in the chat window. Okay, just you have any queries, you can just you can post your thing in your chat. Yeah, queries. You can use the help thing that I have given you. Editing video in OBS is a bit cumbersome. Maybe I'll just tell you some other softwares that you can use to edit video. OBS is a bit messy in that case. Yeah, you can go live on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook you can go. Almost in any streaming software you can go. Not necessarily. You can go in Facebook. You can go in Instagram. Okay. So using OBS, only thing you require that streaming key from your Facebook or your OBS. It's possible. Can post your questions. Many time I tried but not able to. What, ma'am? Namita, ma'am? If you want to talk, you can unmute yourself and talk.
Sir, I want to ask, many times I tried to go Facebook Live with OBS, but it haven't worked.
I've not used it. Maybe I'll give you the steps. I'll help you with the steps later.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And one more question I want to ask: how can we change background in any apps? Can we, when we record or video through OBS or Loop, we can change our background or not?
Yeah, you can change the background. That is, by Zoom it is available as a default option inside. But for other softwares, we need to use additional softwares. Actually, you have everyone is able to see the desktop, right? So in the desktop, you have something I have installed a software called Snap Camera. Okay, using this, you can change your backgrounds. Okay, you can change your backgrounds. So this is a software which will actually, I'm not able to access now, I think so, because Zoom is using my camera. So camera is not available. Using this, actually, you can use a variety of things. A lot of filters are there, backgrounds are there. Okay, it has a good number of options. A lot of funny faces are there. Okay, you can use these filters to change the background. Apart from that, there are some extensions available for Google Meet from Chrome that can actually change the background. Okay, so Zoom has inbuilt. Google Meet, you need to use any other thing. Snap Camera is a free software, of course. Snap Camera is a free software. You can identify any camera software which changes the background or use some sort of filter effects. What you need to do is that when you are using your Zoom, you need to change that thing to particular option for camera. You'll have your original webcam as well as this application will be showing. You have to use this application. That's all.
Sir, this is. Am I audible?
Yeah.
What about copyright issue, something and all? Because if you're using it for education purposes and all, what about this YouTube Live or something and all? Is it?
YouTube Live is not an issue, ma'am.
Or any.
I don't know in what aspect you're asking, ma'am. Your own content. YouTube Live is free for all of you. All of them.
Okay.
YouTube Live is free.
That is free.
Yeah. Okay. No license for them.
But day-to-day lectures, when we are posting something and all, the students, they should not misuse it, something like that, and copyright any issues or something like that.
No, if you are bothered about some people copying your content,
yeah,
then you can just put like unlisted video.
Okay.
Instead of a public or a private video, you can put unlisted and give that link only to your students.
Okay.
So others will not be able to access it.
Yeah.
That we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other queries? You can unmute yourself and you can talk. The option is enabled for you. Yeah, there's a lot of echo. Let's see.
It's really very useful information. Only thing, if you can share the videos, we can also practice.
Yeah, I'll share these videos. Definitely will share.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Video editing. Ma'am, you are able to say anything?
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Here I want to add something. Somebody is asking about video editing software. I would like to suggest VSDC. VSDC. It's really very good software. I suggest you all to please try it.
Can just type it in the Google chat, ma'am.
VSDC, yeah, I'm typing it. Personally, I'm using it, and it's really very good software.
VSDC.
You can, yeah, VSDC. And apart from that, you can use Loom for editing your videos, your personal videos. You can edit always using Loom. Loom is also a very good software for preparation of our lecture as well as for editing purpose. We can always use Loom. All participants are requested to post your queries in chat window.
Yes, ma'am. Your session also it was very interesting, and I think I posted it in the chat. I think in the beginning of the session.
Thank you.
Only one thing, ma'am, because when you are talking about Google Classroom, when you are posting the questions to the students, at a time they may have all that questions will be there, no?
Yes, instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly, it is reflected in your stream.
Yeah. That will be
at
there.
the student. Yeah.
Is there any?
I have shown.
At a
Sorry.
time, each student can receive only one question, so that not be jumbled or something like that.
Your voice is breaking, ma'am. Could you please repeat the question?
At a time, a student can receive only one question.
Okay.
If that option is possible, ma'am, in Google Classroom.
One question means?
One question at a time. Then the student A is getting question number 1. The same time, student B will get different questions. So that
yes, you can do it. There is an option called in setting called shuffle the questions.
Yeah.
If you use that option in setting, then you will get all the questions, different question for different student, and all the answers would be shuffled at.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am is asking like one question at a time to upload for the student.
Sir, there is echo.
Yeah, it is.
Hello.
Yeah, it's echo. I don't know what to do. Is it audible? I don't know what's the problem. Maybe you type.
Hello.
Yeah, it's audible, ma'am. Please tell. So she asked like one question at a time. You can put it in your Zoom group chat. I don't know what's the problem.
Rekha.
can post your questions. It's possible.
I'll send you the details.
Okay. Thank you. So it's possible, not in Google Forms. Huh? Okay. Answer is typed in the Google Classroom. I mean, you can see in the group chat. It's not directly possible with Google Forms. There is a software called Socrative. You can use Socrative for that purpose, wherein each question can be released at a time in the teacher paste. That's an option for teacher paste. That's possible. In Google Forms, all the questions will appear at the same time. You can shuffle the questions. Okay. In Google Forms, all the questions will come at the same time. Only thing, you can shuffle questions and answers. But in Socrative, there is an option called teacher paste. There's an option called teacher paste. So using that option, you can release one question at a time. So teacher, when releases one question at a time, the student will be able to see only one question on his desktop. So you'll answer, you'll give a feedback, and then release the second question. That's possible. That's how it works. Thank you, ma'am. So SLVR Raman, when we want to post same question paper to 2 or more classes, how to collect the response? There must be separate location where the answer, I don't get you, sir, what you're saying. When you want to post same question paper to 2 or more classes, okay, how to collect the response? There must be separate location where the answers to come and stay. Answers, whenever you use a Google form, it will be saved in a Google Sheet. All your answers will be saved in your Google Sheet. That's how it goes on. So it's up to you to give 3 different question paper sets, or you conduct at different timings. That's the way only we can ensure. Other than that, even if you give any kind of trick, students are very smart nowadays. Actually, when I browse the YouTube, identifying methods or tricks and tips with Google devices, it is giving equivalent tips and tricks for the student to easily hack whatever you give. See, for Google Form quiz, we say Google Form quiz is good. They are giving how to crack a Google Form quiz by using the Google Form. You know, in previous years, when I initially started my career, I used to write HTML coding to create a website. Similar to that, what they do is that when you have a Google Form quiz, they open the source code for the quiz. There the option is given. It is possible to identify. Those things are there. So how many methods are there to help the students? So many methods are there to cheat the teachers also. So we have to be very careful. The thing is that we can give a question which they cannot simply answer easily. It should be a questions bit twisted, make them to think and answer. So our responsibility will be more when it comes to online delivering of content. We need to make the questions not so easily. You can sit, open book will be easier to set the questions. Yeah.
My question
you
is,
have to give a question which will be making them think. Actually, I saw in one of the universities, I don't want to mention, for example, I am teaching biomedical instrumentation to students. So they had a question, that is the question is about, explain about the physiology of the respiratory system. For that, the question is like this. A person is admitted in the hospital, is having difficulty in breathing, he has been given anesthesia. Kindly explain the working of the system through which anesthesia is being given. Explain the physiology of the system. This is the question. Okay. So we have to find questions that are not easy to immediately respond or easily search by Google like that.
Pardon, my question is, if I'm taking
Yes.
3 classes A, B, C at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, releasing the same
that
question,
is good actually.
Releasing the same question paper to A section, B section and C section at 2 o'clock.
Sir, at this junction, I would tell that if you happen to know about Moodle, okay, it's completely a separate ocean. If you use Moodle, you can really create a question bank. So each student will get a good set of questions from the same question bank. That's possible. You create a question bank with 100 questions. Suppose 10 students are attending. Each one will have different set of 10 questions. That is possible in Moodle.
What I want is same question to be answered by all the 3 classes. The responses come. Responses will be dumped into one file. I cannot segregate. I want the responses.
According to the name. It will be according to the name. It will come.
Name.
Yeah, name of the student will be there. For each question, how much he has answered, what is the mark he has got. That
all the 3 classes, the question will come and stay in the same file. You
can, if you create separate Google Forms for each, then it will come out in different forms.
That is how I want to know how to create the separate forms. Yeah. Because the same question paper to be given in A section, B section, C section. A section responses must be collected. B section response separately I want to collect it. How to collect it.
So see here, I just go to forms.google.com. My screen is visible, right? So I have a blank quiz. I just take any blank quiz that I have. Okay. I'll just take a quiz or it's a form almost. I'll just blank quiz. I have one blank quiz. Just a minute. Are you able to see the screen, sir? Okay, I'll just get back. So is my screen visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay. Yeah. Now you can see this is a quiz. This is a quiz with answers. So you are giving the quiz now, say, okay. So here, you will click on this create spreadsheet. See here, create a new spreadsheet. I'm just giving a create new spreadsheet and I'll just create. So it will open up a spreadsheet. It will open up a thing. It will be accumulating the roll number. What are the answers they have given like that? If the score and all will also be there. Okay. Now this is a spreadsheet. Now, if I want, you can rename this file. Say this is batch 1. This is batch 1. I've just given, I have got the answers. Say 3 members have answered the quiz and I have got it. Okay. Again, I'm giving the same quiz form to another class. Again, I go to this one. Actually, good option would be this form, you download it. You download this form. First batch you have created, download this form. You download this Microsoft Excel form. Okay. Then I can just go for delete all responses. And again, the new thing will be collected.
Responses, they will be
direct option, I don't think it is directly available. 3 separate things.
No, they different class A, B, C. 3 different classrooms if they are creating.
Yeah, if from different classrooms, if they're giving, I think you'll get separate thing.
Yeah. For posting the question, the timings we have to note it. Once the time is started, we can post the question, no?
Yeah.
Classrooms. Then we can record it easily, maybe.
Yeah.
Suppose it is a lengthy question and it takes, say, 1 or 2 days. I have released the question paper to all the 3 classes, but I want the answer to be collected in different locations.
Yeah, you can create, sir. First, you create 3 Google forms, sir. You can duplicate the same question Google form, multiple copies. You can duplicate the same question paper in Google form. You can duplicate it multiple times. You rename one for batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. You give it for 3 batches. Each will be collected in a separate sheet.
Batch 1 will come in a separate sheet.
Yeah, batch 2 will come in separate.
So depend upon the title only.
Yeah, it's possible.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have squeeze option and take particular screen for save. OBS. What do you mean by squeeze, sir? I don't get what you mean by squeeze. You want to save a snapshot of a screen. My question, sir, is OBS. Can I have a squeeze option? I don't have option like you want to take a screenshot by passing. Am I correct, sir? Okay, then that option is not by default available in OBS. That you can use any normal screen software. You can this Windows. In Windows, you have a software called this one. See on the desktop, snipping tool. You have the snipping tool. Using this, you can capture any part of the desktop. Suppose you click new. You want any part of the desktop, you can capture it. And you can save it wherever you want. That's possible by using a snipping tool. Okay. By default, it is available in your Windows. You can just type SNIP. You'll be able to access the snipping tool. So snipping tool, you can click on next and you'll be able to select it. Okay. So that's by default, it is rectangular snip, or you want a full screen strip. That is, you can choose it. Full screen strip, it will take a snapshot of the full screen directly. That's it. That's how it works. Have queries more? Or shall we end the session? If you have any more queries, you can again communicate through the WhatsApp group. To my WhatsApp also you can communicate, or to the ma'am. We'll be there to help you. You try to use the manuals that I have given for video recording. Try on your own. Okay. If you find any difficulty, you can just bring it to our notice. So let's break. Thank you. Ma'am, shall we quit? Shall we stop?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Happy learning.
Thank you.
We'll meet tomorrow, sir. Thank you.